Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the sixth and last news on the 30th January newspaper front page dawn. Demand for gas supply to captive power plants rejected. Government promises to facilitate fresh electricity connections, improved power supply to industries by colleague Kiani. Islamabad, the government on Friday rejected a demand of the industrial sector for continuation of gas supply into their captive power plants by suspending its recent decisions, but promised to facilitate the fresh electricity connections and improved power supplies. According to an official statement, this was the outcome of a meeting at the Ministry of Energy's Petroleum Division. The meeting was attended by a business delegation comprising representatives of the Federation of Pakistan Chambers of Commerce and Industry and the presidents of different associations of industrial areas in Karachi. The government side was represented by Sindh Governor Imran Ismail, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Petroleum, Nadeem Babar, SAPM, on power, Tabish Gohar, the Petroleum Secretary and the Managing Director of the Southern Gas Company. The business delegation was told that based on recommendations of the Cabinet Committee on Friday on Energy, CCOE, the federal cabinet had approved a moratorium on the gas supply to industrial units for self-generation of electricity. The cabinet has directed the energy minister that a date for disconnection of gas supplies to captive power plants CPPs of non-export industry will be February 1, 2021, and the date for disconnection of gas supplies to CPPs of export industry will be March 1. The cabinet also decided that for those units who have electricity connections, but their sanctions load is less than their requirement, they would be required to immediately apply for enhancement of load and the respective discourse. DISCOs shall be required to provide such enhancement expeditiously. Until such enhancement they would be provided to gas provided they would forcefully utilize their existing sanctions load, and once the load enhancement is done, gas connection will be disconnected. Under the cabinet directive, before disconnecting gas supply to these industrial units, the relevant DISCO would confirm in writing its technical ability to serve the sanctioned power load. The CBPs of export or non-export industry not connected with the power grid, having no electricity connections, will submit applications such as representative DISCO for grid connectivity by March 31, and the DISCOs will expeditiously process the applications and in any case before December. Until the electricity connection is operated, the Gas companies will not disconnect gas supplies to such units which have applied for a connection by the due date but have not been provided the same by the discourse. In a captive power plant, having a cogeneration facility claims to be a cogeneration unit, it will make such declaration latest by February 1, and the National Energy Efficiency Conservation Agency NEECA will conduct a third-party audit of such CPPs of export, non-export industry within 3 months to avoid rent-seeking capacity against continued gas supply into such units. If the audit confirms a cogeneration facility gas supply will continue, but otherwise it will be disconnected, the Power Division will finalize a detailed and transparent mechanism for third-party audit within 1 week. These decisions were shared with the business delegations, SAPM, Gohar said, adding that Pakistan had overcapacity in terms of power generation, and circular debt was a basic economy issue, and connecting the industries with the national grid would help reduce the burden of take or pay charges on the government. Further, he said, the incumbent government had announced the electricity tariff support package whereby all industries will be provided disconnected discounted rate on power tariffs on increment usage of electricity for the next 3 years. He added that the government was bringing improvement in the power sector through bold policy decisions. Mr. Gover said that the discourse would expeditiously process new connections and load enhancement applications for industries and ensure quality of supply to industry. SAPM Baba explained that the decision was based on the fact that consumption of scarce natural gas in identify inefficient CPPs was a big national loss. On the other hand, the surplus power generation capacity would be absorbed in these industrial units at competitive rates. He told the business delegation that the issue of gas supplies to the CPPs had been under discussion for the last 10 years. He added that gas allocation management policy 2005 clearly stated that the gas supplies to the CPPs would be made on as when available after meeting the requirement of other consumers. He said that even a new policy also exempted the captive power plants with cogeneration since they had much higher combined efficiency. Mr. Barber also assumed that gas supply into the assured. Mr. Barber also assured that gas supply into the industrial units which were not currently connected into the power grid or were not supplied electricity that was sufficient for their needs would not be disconnected immediately. He said that the government would request them to shift from gas-based captive power generation to the national power grid by December. And the conclusion of the meeting, the governor said that joint efforts by the industrialists and the federal government would ramp up and the progress and the development of the country, an official statement said. The SSGC's clarification on moratorium made by the SSSG has clarified that in the light of a recent announcement by the government about a moratorium on the gas supply to industrial units for self-generation of electricity gas supply and to generate the categories of industrial customers coming contracted with the SSGC for power generation export, non-export will not be disconnected unless the relevant DISCO K Electric confirm in which their technical ability to serve the sanctioned power load. And these two categories are those industrial units which have no electricity connection and others with which are supplied electricity less than the requirement. All such captive power plants will apply for load enhancement, grid connectivity, or to relevant discos electric in compliance with the directives of the cabinet. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and to press the like and bell button to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.